Finding Monster Right! The show about fighting monsters, right?
Yep.
Give me an A, give me a D, give me an A-M, Adam!
Ready? Okay. Who's that girl who's really trans? Who's that girl with all the plans? It's Allie!
We are pepping up this episode and this podcast talking about Thunderbirds.
Hell yeah.
Feel the thunder.
All right.
Go Thunderbirds!
Woo! I was cheated out of being a cheerleader. I'm going to say that now. Bold claim. I'm really good at this, and I'm ready to bring it on. 15 years too late.
Yeah, are you ready to bring it on to All or Nothing?
I'm ready to bring it on to the streets. That's not the subtitle for Bring It On.
This Thanksgiving, we are going to Native American mythology and talking about the great bird of America. No, it's not the Philly fanatic. No, it's not the eagle. It is not the turkey either, Ben Franklin. It's the Thunderbird. Hell yeah, feel the thunder. All right, go Thunderbirds.
I mean, we have to do the cheer again.
Okay.
Adam, don't fuck this up for us again.
Thunderbirds.
Hell yeah.
Feel the thunder.
All right.
Go Thunderbirds.
Move that ball on down the field. Show them how you really feel. Go Thunderbirds.
Our theme is as you've mentioned, regaining this cheerleader attitude.
Yeah, because we came to drop some cool facts about Thunderbirds to get people hype about Thunderbirds, and hence cheerleading.
Yes, this is a monster, a creature, a mythological being that not a lot know about. And it doesn't pop up very frequently, and that's a shame. We need to bring the thunder to the people.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have heard the word Thunderbird before, but, not everybody has gone on a super deep dive into it.
No, yeah, I think it's more like people know it by the, military vehicle, more than the mythological being.
You mean the plane?
Yes.
A fighter jet is a vehicle.
Oh, huh.
And there's also a car.
Yes, I think, look, thunder's a cool word. Everyone loves the word thunder.
That's true.
I would relate the word thunder to a percentage of Pokemon's popularity.
You've been Thunderbird!
Yeah.
I hate most of that song and most of AC/DC's catalog, but, boy am I good at sounding like a cat in the process of being neutered. No mercy to the bad if they want it! You know?
I think that's the vibe they were going for.
Yeah. Mid-neuter cat. Ready? Okay. Cut off those cat's balls. Oh, man, I can't do a parody of a cheerleader chant. I'm sorry. My heart is too into it.
As we've started with our first cheer, using the phrase "hell yeah," I think there's a lot of phrases that they don't pick up in cheerleader. They don't talk about the ball a lot.
No, that's
for obvious reasons.
They move the ball on down the field. Go Wildcats.
Yeah, they put the ball early in the cheer.
True. It's
move those balls off the cat.
There we go. But if you ever upstage me again, I swear to God, I will ruin you.
Yeah, you're really bringing it all or nothing.
I'm in my Regina George era, kids. One time in actual high school, there were these visiting middle schoolers. They were in the little vestibule kind of area before you walk into the gymnasium.
Yeah.
And this kid let go of this balloon that they gave him inside, and it landed in the rafters. And he just looked up at it it's sad when you lose a balloon. But he doesn't know that adults would also be sad by that, so he's trying to hide that he's sad. And I just turned to my friend Grace, who is all the cheerleaders are, like, geared up and, like, creating, like, a little, like, cheerleading gauntlet for the kids to go through. And I'm like, Grace, can you guys do a pyramid and get that balloon? And she was like, hell yeah. And she did it, and, like, they did basket toss and caught her, and, like, she gave the balloon back to the kid, and it was the coolest thing I've ever done. And I should have been a cheerleader.
Yeah, you called the shots.
Like, blah, blah, blah. Pay me what you owe me.
Thunderbird time.
Thunderbirds.
All right, so these are big birds. Not Big Bird. They're great, enormous birds that travel over America. Before it was America.
Yeah, Thunderbirds are a common element in mythologies across many different North American cultures. One's as different as, like, the Pacific Northwest and the northeastern woodlands, and all across the Great Plains. Although there is some variation in Thunderbird stories among these different groups.
Yes. But I'd say let's get into that after we kind of describe what this creature and powers are.
Right. So some common elements are... Thunderbird Fact 1. Ready? Okay. You can just say whatever. It doesn't have to be a chant.
They're capable of creating storms behind them when they fly. They bring the rain, the hail, all the weather. It comes in their tracks.
Bring the thunder, make 'em wonder how we beat 'em just so bad. Go Thunderbirds!
Yes, the reason why they're called Thunderbirds is because when they flap their wings, it creates the sound of thunder.
Flap! Flap! Flap those wings!
As with all thunder comes the lightning. They can shoot bolts of lightning out from their beaks, or sometimes in their eyes in some version of the story.
Shoot that lightning out your eyes. Show them you're better than the other guys. Go Thunderbirds.
They also, in appearance, they have very bright feathers. Some would describe them as lightning blue.
Lightning blue. Lightning blue.
I'm sorry, that wasn't a full fact for you.
I need a little more meat on those bones. I need a little more meat on that turkey.
Sure thing. They can easily carry a whale in their talons. That's how strong and powerful their claws are.
Ready? Okay.
Move that whale across the sky. Is that it? Is that all we're doing?
Take that whale. Take that whale that is blue.
Yeah, it's not...
You know what? I need my squad. I don't have a squad. I just have you.
Sometimes there's just they just do beats, if I recall from my days watching high school football. They just go, let's see. Blue! Lightning! Thunderbirds! Like, sometimes there's not a whole to do.
Yeah. Sometimes there's not a whole thought. Sometimes it's just like a little, like, warrior chant, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, so they, some describe them as messengers for a higher power of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And they, in some tales, are said to transform themselves from Thunderbirds into men and women.
Yeah. Particularly, it's time for Lenny Lenape Corner. So, the Lenni Lenape are the Native American group that lived in the area that you and I call home, the Delaware River Valley. Delaware being a European name for the Lenni Lenape. And in that mythology, they have some Manitowoc, some spirits that are known as Petohueyok, or thunder beings. They live in the sky, and they cause thunder and lightning, and they're usually depicted as giant birds, but sometimes they have human heads, or they can turn into people, or that sort of thing. They're dangerous. Sometimes they kill people with their powers, but usually they are sworn enemies of the horned serpents. That is a recurring motif, and they rescue people from these monsters.
Yes, that's correct. They wage war kind of against these forces of darkness. They represent the kind of overworld, and the horned serpent, it would be the underworld.
Yeah. One of these horned serpents, Mahakuk, was the evil snake that fought that giant toad last year.
if you've been paying attention, folks, webheads.
Yeah. Hey, webheads, go back to the World Turtle episode. That was 2 years ago? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was 2.
What we do for Thanksgiving last year?
I want to say it's bad that we. I guess we're the webheads that have to look this up, huh?
I mean, yeah, like. Ready? Okay. Open up that spreadsheet wide. See that what we've got inside. Go, Adam.
We did the Appalachian Apple Snitch and Ape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that counts, I think.
Yeah, that was our Thanksgiving special.
So one particular member of the Lenape people was Lapawinso, who was one of the chiefs who regrettably signed the walking purchase in 1737, which was a infamous purchase in Pennsylvania history, where William Penn, who is considered to be generally pretty cool with Native Americans, his sons were like 2 dipshit fail sons. And so, like, the Lenape signed a treaty with them, and they, like, totally squirreled their way into getting way more land than they should have been able to take, according to the terms of the treaty. And Lenape-Winso had a forehead tattoo depicting 2 Thunderbirds and a serpent. And I think, Adam, as colonizers, several waves removed from William Penn's fail sons, but still colonizers all the same, we should, as a small act of penance for the sins of our predecessors, learn the proper pronunciation for the Lenape word for thunder beans. So, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so, pet.
Pet.
Hawk.
Hawk.
Oh, wait, hang on. Ready? Okay. Give me a P.
P.
Give me an E.
E.
Give me a T.
T.
Give me an H.
H.
Give me an A. Give me a K. Give me an H. Give me a U.
Okay.
Give me a W.
W.
Give me an E.
E.
What's that spell? Petaku Way.
Petaku Way. Maybe you should give me the syllables if we're trying to pronounce it right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I just have one question then. Is that are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Pet.
Pets.
Give me a hawk.
Hawk.
Give me a who.
Who.
Give me a way.
Way.
Give me a yuck.
Yuck.
What's that spell?
Petaku Way.
Yuck.
Yuck.
That's Petakuwe, singular. Petakuwe yak, plural.
Petaku Way Yuck. Okay. So let's talk about, beyond the Lenape, some of the other peoples and their various stories about the Thunderbirds.
Yeah. Did you come across the stories of the Lakota people?
Lakota.
So
I may have. Why don't you start with them?
So skimming across from like the northeastern woodlands and like the Great Lakes region where the Algonquin were like a big deal, skimming across the Great Plains.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to a source that I found on Thunderbirds, there was one description of the spirit's physicality that I really liked, and that is they even experienced medicine men. And this was in the section about the Lakota. Even experienced medicine men can only ever see part of a Thunderbird at one time.
Ooh.
Like, you can't see its whole lower body, but you can see its claws. You can't see its whole upper body, but you can see the tip of its beak. You cannot see its whole face, but you can see the flash of lightning reflected in its eyes. You can only ever see one thing at a time. And I really like the transcendental kind of spiritual nature of the Thunderbird that implies.
Oh, yeah.
It really speaks to the notion of, like, the Thunderbird is more like an archangel than a fucking pterodactyl, like these cryptozoologists are going on about.
Yeah, that's not our angle at all. We see, it's an important mythological creature. People that members of tribes that fasted and would see an aspect of the Thunderbird in their visions. Were wanted, that was like a goal to go on to become a war chief.
Ready? Okay. Give me a beak.
Beak.
Give me a claws.
Claws.
Give me a flash of lightning reflected in its eyes.
Flash of lightning reflected in the eyes.
What's that spell?
Thunderbirds.
That's not how spelling works, but yes, that's the answer I was looking for. Woo!
Yeah, yeah. So that's very cool. A good source there.
Yeah. Did you come across the story of the that one time the horned serpents tried to flood the worlds?
I did.
Yeah.
The horned serpent attempted to flood the world, brought a great flood upon things, which is we that's a I don't know if we talked about this on the show, but a common trope in ancient histories.
Absolutely, yeah.
When a flood often occurs because civilization lives near kind of river basins because it's very fertile land and stuff like that. So floods are very common, and great floods are a staple of these stories. But in the one that I found, the Great Serpent caused the Great Flood. Water levels rise. The peoples found their ways into into boats that were separated from each other as they traveled across the world. The the Thunderbirds, to combat this, called upon great lightning to smite the serpents that were here causing. And where they struck, there were cracks formed, and these cracks drained out all the water that had formed.
Ready? Okay. Tie those serpents in a knot. Show them who is running hot. Crack that ground with the lightning. Make them feel really frightening. Go Thunderbirds!
Yeah. Do I have the bulk of it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Remember to keep your... there is a part where, at first, the Thunderbirds tried fighting the serpents on the ground, and this was a bad move, and so they decided to go into the sky and start shooting lightning bolts. Keep your casters out of melee range, folks.
Yes, this is a job. This is the role of a ranged fighter.
Yes. Continuing to move along, as you mentioned, in the Pacific Northwest, unlike the individual saviors of the East or the preservers of existence in the very celestial kind of nature of the Great Plains Thunderbirds, in the Pacific Northwest, Thunderbirds are more commonly depicted as providers to the community as a whole. You might see them on top of totem poles, and totem poles are more of a Pacific Northwest specific thing.
Yes, a symbol of a great protector.
Yes.
Yeah, I know to the Arapaho tribe. I don't know about their geographical locations, but to them they are associated with summer. To contrast, the white owl is the kind of bird of winter.
That is interesting.
Yeah, another group. I want to make sure I get these buddies right. The Ojibwe people.
That's a Great Lakes people.
Yes, they're a hero in their stories. Nanabozu.
Mm-hmm.
He was the creator of the Thunderbirds in the tales.
Right, very similar to maybe a cognate with Nanapush from our World Turtle episode where we talked about the Lenape creation myth.
Oh yeah. To your serpent points earlier, they were to protect people from the evil underwater spirits.
To protect the world from devastation. To unite all peoples within our nation.
The whole nation, they live in the 4 different directions of it. And during these end of fall, they would migrate with the other birds and return in the spring. That was fighting season. When they had their battles, was spring to fall.
Yeah. Did you also know, in the Pacific Northwest, Thunderbird fact number 30, or however many we've done now, the first humans hatched from Thunderbird eggs.
There's a shared ancestry there.
One time, all the whales decided that they weren't gonna die anymore. And so the people were hungry, and a chief said a prayer, and a Thunderbird came down and brought back a cool whale for everybody to eat. And I really wish God were that cool. Jesus is my co-pilot, but the Thunderbird is a whole plane, you know?
Yes. That is very similar to the... I heard a Thunderbird story that was ended with a different relationship between the people and the bird.
Do tell.
It was from the Beaver Prairie. A hunter found a sleeping Thunderbird, and its fresh kill, a huge whale.
In the prairie?
Yes, in a prairie.
Damn.
The bird was stopping halfway on its journey to the mountains where it lives.
That really do be how birds does.
This was such an amazing sight, the hunter thought that no one would believe him, so he plucked a feather off the bird, said to be as long as a canoe paddle. He brought it back to his people, told them the story, and showed them the feather as proof. They said, "Wow, that's great. And we're very hungry. The Thunderbird's so amazing. I don't think it would mind if we have some of its whale." And so the man showed them to it, where the bird was, and by the time that the story had spread around, it was a great number of beach and river tribes that showed up. And let me tell you, they cooked and ate the entire damn whale.
Aw. That bird fought hard for its whale.
Yes, and the bird awoke, started a big ol' storm, where the rain turned to hail larger than a man's fist, fell down on the people, killing them. And as a final act, the Thunderbird turned the people into stone, this creating kind of a great ridge that they say that you can still see the whale bones at today. Where this is, I do not know, but that's where the tale goes.
Wow. I mean, yeah, don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk to birds.
I wonder how the story would have gone if they had only eaten half the whale. Maybe maybe only half of them would have been turned to stone.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, that was don't steal is the ultimate story of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But in various tales, the Thunderbirds are described as kind of peacekeepers, judges. They are aware of morality and kind of treat other people with lessons. And if you upset them, they have an extreme anger.
Yeah. But at least it's harder to piss them off than, a more, orderly or, anthropomorphized deity might have rules like, remember, don't eat meat on Thursday and no masturbating.
Yeah.
And that's what a good person is. And the birds' rules are like, all right, don't steal and don't fuck with me.
We've had a lot more trigger-happy monsters in our mythologies.
A lot more trigger-happy gods as well.
Yeah.
All in all, I can get behind this.
Do you have any other tales and tribes to talk of?
None really from the Native American side of things, although there is another half of the Thunderbirds' image in popular culture.
Okay. That sounds. Let's get into that.
That is the cryptozoology aspect.
Oh, yes. Oh, I hinted at this earlier.
Yeah. So a lot of cryptozoological accounts kind of reduce the Thunderbird to a biologically plausible giant bird of prey, which is great and all, but you kind of miss the point.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where people look at the Loch Ness monster and they're like, oh yeah, plesiosaurus or what have you, a plesiosaur.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's no Loch Ness monster in a people's cultural beliefs.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, no, there's a giant bird and it inspired the tales of the Thunderbird, and it's just one of those things of no one can fucking come up with anything on their own.
It's if it wasn't the human ingenuity, that can't be it. It's got to be extraterrestrial beings.
Yeah. It can't be that someone saw a bird and thought what if there was a big one? It's got to be there was a giant bird and the aliens took it away.
Yeah, I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes birds far away, you can imagine them being really large.
I, myself, just a few days ago, I was at the art museum with a friend, and, over the Schuylkill River, behind some trees, I saw a bird fly by, and I was like, that bird's bigger than I think it should be. Maybe,
yeah.
Felt like it was, 5, maybe, 10 feet across. And I was like, damn. And my friend who saw it with me was not that impressed. But I think it's just really hard to tell how big birds are.
I agree. Which is why there's, in all these accounts and tales and legends, it's unfathomably large is how they're described.
Right, yeah. And, like,
Yeah,
unfathomably large does not mean, like, I saw a monster... I, like, tuned into the first bit of a Monster Quest episode about Thunderbirds, and it's like, well, it's about 8 feet tall, maybe, like, a third the height of a telephone pole. It's like, I got picked up by a Thunderbird as a boy, and that's why my hair is so white. Yuck. And I'm like,
there are no numbers in this mythology.
Yeah.
There's no dimensions to these creatures, and that's what kind of makes them a myth.
The Thunderbird is not a mundane animal, and no one ever claimed it was. The Thunderbird is just the Thunderbird. It's not a pterodactyl. It's not like an Asdarchid pterosaur that survived to the modern day. It's not an Argentavis that survived to the modern day. Note to all cryptozoologists: sometimes animals go extinct. Get over it.
Yeah, no, it's...
Like, that's every one of these things, right? Like, oh, Beauty and the Beast is actually because woolly mammoths are still around in France somewhere if we look hard enough.
Yeah, no, they're, that's not how the story goes.
Oh, Moana? Moana is actually real. There's a big lava monster, because there's a megalodon that's still alive and its head is on fire, I bet, if we look.
Maybe we have killer whales because this is a true story of how the Thunderbird fought the Mimlos whale.
Free Willy was actually inspired by a sighting of the Loch Ness Monster.
Is that actually true?
How could it be true? Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is like people think that like, oh, well perhaps the Thunderbird was inspired by pterosaur fossils. And I'm like, bruh, no. It was inspired by birds. Like... If you dig up, like, when Europeans dug up pterosaur fossils for the first time, we thought that they were, like, fucked up weird bats, or, like, some shit that swims and has big fins. Like, we didn't know. Like...
You know how I described, like, the reason why all these, like, all different ancient cultures had pyramids? Because if you were to build if you were to build the biggest pile of dirt, they all look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's same idea, but it's like the thought is, what if big?
Yeah, what if big?
What if big is what inspired
That's all it is.
The Thunderbird.
Thunder is scary, and I don't have an explanation for it. There's birds in the sky. I bet if there's something really big and important that's in charge of thunder, I can claim that I can speak for that thing, and therefore I can be in charge of people. That's all it is. Like, it has nothing to do with, oh, hey, I dug up a mysterious fossil. Well, what do you think it is? I think it is a Thunderbird. Like, that's not a thing. People put so much stock in the fucking pot of, like, oh, I dug up a fossil and assembled it and set up a perfect fucking mounted skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, we should make this into, like, a snake that fights a giant toad. Like, no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You find a part of a bone once, maybe, and you're like, huh, weird, giants, I guess. And you move on. Like, you don't... There's no...
Are you saying that if the Romans had aqueducts, they must have seen a modern-day toilet?
How often do you think... Like, if you're not specifically looking for fossils, how often do you think you just stumble across one and then build your entire religion around that? How often does that happen if you're just like a hunter-gatherer culture? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, how many... What kind of effect do you have of, like, just dropping... It's that thing. I think if even if they were to discover some kind of fossil, it doesn't become a religious icon overnight or anything like that across the entire continent. I think everyone just said, "What if bird big?
What if bird big?" Here's like, okay, Occam's razor.
Occam's razor.
Yes, exactly. Like, do we know that Native Americans saw fossils? Probably at some point somebody stumbled across some exposed bit of fossil, yeah. Do we know that they knew that it was the remains of ancient animals, or animals from a time long ago, at least? Maybe? Do we know that they found a pterosaur fossil specifically? Maybe? Do we know that they found it, saw it all, like, exposed to a point where they associated pterosaur, big beak, wing, and assumed it was a flying animal of some sort that existed long ago? Maybe? Do we assume that they then decided that that is what a Thunderbird is? Maybe? Compare that process of maybes to, do we know that they saw a bird? Yes. Almost definitely. Do we think that they saw thunder? Yes, almost definitely. Did they put two and two together and think, what if bird, but big because in charge? Maybe? That's one maybe, compared to like 8.
Yeah. If you treat every maybe as like 50% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then by the laws of probability, like, after 5 maybes or so, the chances are incredibly slim.
This is true of everything. Thunderbirds are pterodactyls. Cyclopses are elephant skulls. Griffins are protoceratops skulls that got fucked up in some very ultra-specific way that we've never seen happen before in our whole entire career of observing fossils. Like, did you know, Adam, that Moana was actually invented because someone saw seashells and was inspired to make the volcano lady?
Yes, I did not know this.
Did you know, Adam, that actually Steamboat Willie was invented because someone saw a giant talking mouse that is now extinct?
They saw a mouse wearing little shorts.
Did you know, Adam, that stories of giants were invented because someone saw a fossil of an extinct elephant and decided
they didn't say, what if me but big?
No, they never thought that. Did you know, Adam, that Pegasus was invented because a bird tried to fuck a horse in the Pleistocene, and it turned into a fossil, and the body of the bird disappeared, but not the wings, and so they dug this up, and they were like, well, I guess this must have actually happened.
Yeah, I think you've made your point. This is a silly chain of events.
It is.
That going a very roundabout way to what is truly a simple solution.
Man, that was like 15 minutes of just like, fuck your protoceratops. You know that thing with the griffins of like, oh, what if the head frill of a protoceratops breaks off in a way that looks exactly like a wing somehow, and then it moves back along the shoulder. The entire rest of the skeleton is staying exactly in place while this happens, and then people dug that up and they thought that was griffins.
Yeah, no, this is...
Bird, cat, big, done.
The things that we do know are these tales and stuff that are passed along, and I think those accounts are way more valuable in a mythological sense than any kind of archaeological reverse engineering.
Yeah. It's colonialist trash is what it is. It's like reverse engineering something of like, oh, ancient people are stupid. Oh, ancient people of this land are stupid. When you apply that ancient people are stupid thing to America and to like our land, you get Native Americans were stupid. And it's not a great leap of faith then to go to Native Americans are stupid. And that is where we get this fucking system of reservations where some of the poorest parts of the country who are so fucking overlooked and just victim to all these horrible ravages that the rest of the country simply isn't. Like, I was like 25 years old when I found out that people in the modern United States were still racist against Native Americans. Like over here on the East Coast, where they've all been fucking shot out of a cannon over to the other side of the country, where we don't have to think about them anymore. It's fucking disgusting.
I agreed entirely. So,
ready? Okay.
I have another story from another people.
Maybe we need that right now.
So, this is from the Manabune people.
Mm-hmm.
And what they believed about the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds lived on an enormous mountain that floats in the sky.
Cool.
Yeah, that's some real just fantasy legend shit.
That's some Laputa shit.
they control the elements and weather from there.
Mhm.
It does feel like a kind of like a Chronicles of Narnia, like greater beings, like sending out storms across the land.
Hmm.
But they're very interested in what the happenings of human life, and they find a lot of pleasure in fighting, like witnessing fights and accomplishments and impressive feats.
Oh.
So, like, imagine them watching the equivalents of like Greek heroes, like doing amazing, powerful things. They were similarly enemies of the Great Horned Snake, and they were messengers of the Great Sun.
I just realized, looking at, like, great heroes and stuff and looking at great feats, what's great about the Thunderbirds is they are cheerleaders.
They are. That is what I wanted to bring up. Is that they do watch over everything, and they bring the thunder.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah, they razzle dazzle their colorful colors,
Mm.
and they I guess in a way eschew judgment over the rest of the school. Yeah, they have a position of power, and as they do in several of these stories, they go from their regular appearance to putting on an outfit of feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they fully transform into their Thunderbird shape.
Huh. I like this conclusion. Thunderbirds are like mythological cheerleaders in a way.
Yeah. Again, they hold all the power of the school.
Mm-hmm.
They're beings of great respect.
I don't see cheerleaders as embodying these virtues of, like, preserving existence or, like, providing for a community or protecting individuals.
Nothing like that. No.
But maybe. You can figure it out. My point is, I want to culturally appropriate Thunderbirds as, like, a kind of patron or something for my next bard in D&D.
That's a good poll. I thought you were going to say, I would like to cultural appropriate in reverse and give cheerleaders to the Thunderbirds. Like, you guys can do with this as you would want.
I guess that is...
This is a piece of our world that I'm freely giving to you.
I guess that is reverse cultural appropriation. Like...
Yeah, it's giving the gift of something to... Giving permission to people, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? For all that shit that I was talking about, the current treatment of Native Americans, I'm gonna go ahead and look up, like, a Native American charity or something to plug at the end of this episode, real quick.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you want me to tell another story about about a Thunderbird protector?
Yeah, sure.
So this comes from the Passamaquoddy people. There were two warriors that wanted to discover the origins of thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Their journey led them to two magical mountains that would pull apart and smash together. The first warrior made it through safely, but the second warrior was crushed. On the other side, he found a group of wigwams, and the people that lived there would put on wings and fly south. Several elders remained in this village, and the warrior questioned them, asked, "Where does thunder come from?" So the elders' response was to put this warrior into a big old mortar. They pounded his bones until they were broken, and they created a new body for him. A body that had wings. They gave him a bow, and with these new Thunderbird wings, he flew into the air and protected his village as a new Thunderbird.
That's cool as hell.
So yeah, that's neat pieces there. Reading it, I thought it was going to go a lot of different ways.
Truly.
Yeah, I think the imagery of a Native American kind of crushed. I think what was cited in the one of the faces of the moon in some cultures. So, but we won't delve too deep there. Do you have a plug for us?
I do, yeah. Do we want to wrap up Thunderbird talk?
Oh yeah, sure. So let's. I think. After cheering them on, we should escort or be led by in cheer the Thunderbirds to the final rating place.
Ready? Okay. Move those birds down to the Move those birds down to the place. Watch them win every race. Go Thunderbirds!
Yes, I think
My cheer powers are decreasing. I've learned over the course of this episode, Adam, that a cheerleader needs a squad.
Yeah, there's only so much pep you can bring.
True. I need.
You bring it all or nothing.
Yeah, you helped me through a lot, but I think I burned out even the 2 cheerleader team here.
So I think that the Thunderbirds, as a monster, are very interesting because they are like they're Americana, like they're Native Americana, right? They are a piece, like in my mind, they're like more American than a bald eagle.
Yeah,
and like they're great, they're colorful, and they like bring like literally the storm on. They put the team on their back, the team being the storm. And like all the pieces of America that we know, like even the hurricanes and the tornado belts and all this kind of this big ass country from that point to that point, it's kind of just I see it as very symbolic, and I like that it's different everywhere, which is kind of again. It's Thanksgiving where we're talking about like everyone that has a different American experience. Like, we're a melting pot, but it's beyond that. It's like this is the pot that melts.
True.
the Thunderbird. So I think that I'm going to give it a solid. Think of the most American number that I can.
50, 76. Well, 76 feels a little.
Yeah, it's like I want this to represent not just the indigenous people of this world.
What's a number that is important in... you know what? There were 5 and then 6 nations in the Iroquois Confederacy.
I will stand behind 5 out of 6 for this glorious bird.
Similarly, I really like the Thunderbird as a symbol because it is so pervasive in North American mythology. Like, it is North America's answer to, like, a dragon, almost.
Yeah.
In a way. And it's, like, just a really good symbol as a spirit, and it's a good mythological character that needs to be explored more. And, like we said at the top of this, like, there's a million things that are called Thunderbird, but no one really dives deep on what a Thunderbird is. And I think it's a protector, it's a provider, it's a preserver.
Yeah, it's a judge. It is a
jury,
like something to look up to,
and an executioner.
Electrocutioner.
Bravo. It is.
Thank you.
It is Judge Dredd, and also it's a cheerleader.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us on this this patriotic, proto-patriotic evening.
6 out of 6.
Do we have somewhere to that people can make reparations?
Yeah. I have a plug for us.
Yes.
I didn't want to just drop hey, yeah, we treat Native American communities badly, and then not give a plug at the end. So, the Native American Heritage Association was founded in 1993. They have a 4-star rating and a perfect accountability and transparency score on Charity Navigator. They have a platinum seal of transparency from GuideStar, and they spend about 97% of their yearly income on programs and services. And what those programs and services are 7 different programs throughout South Dakota and Wyoming that distribute household goods, tools, and resources to Native American communities in need. So if you want to check them out and maybe consider donating, check out naha-inc.org. That's naha-inc.org for the Native American Heritage Association.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, and have a good scraw!
I feel like we need one cheer to take us home.
Ready? Okay.
Thunderbirds in the sky. Thunderbirds, they're the guys. Go Thunderbirds!
We've got thunder. Yes, we do. We've got thunder. How about you?
Go Thunderbirds! Thunderbirds, hell yeah! Feel the thunder.
All right.
Go
Go
Thunderbirds!